If my family had known I won the lottery that night, my life would have exploded before sunrise. If this story touches your heart, do not just scroll, like, subscribe, and be part of this journey. Everything changed the day Emily Carter checked the numbers twice and realized the impossible had happened. She was sitting in her tiny kitchen. Rain tapped the window. The ticket shook in her hand. 5 numbers matched. Then the last one matched too. Emily whispered, "No, this can't be real." But it was real. $34 million. Her heart pounded so loud it hurt. Emily Carter had spent her whole life being the responsible one, the quiet one, the one everyone called when they needed help. Her brother Jake needed rent money every month. Her mother Linda always said, "Family takes care of family." Her cousin Brandon only showed up when he needed a favor. Emily knew them well, too well, and that was the first reason she stayed silent. She folded the ticket slowly. Then she locked it inside an old cookie tin. Her hands would not stop shaking. "Think," she whispered to herself. "Just think," because she knew something scary. Money does not only change your life, it reveals everyone around you. The next morning felt strange. The world looked the same, but Emily felt like she was carrying a secret bomb in her pocket. At work, she poured coffee for customers. No one knew the girl handing them change was suddenly richer than the entire street. Her co-worker, Megan, leaned over the counter. "You look pale," Megan said. "Did you sleep?" "Yeah," Emily lied. "Just tired." She forced a smile. Inside her head, numbers kept flashing. 34 million. She went home after her shift. Her phone buzzed before she even unlocked the door. Jake. Of course it was Jake. I need a little help again," he said quickly. "Just until next month." Emily closed her eyes. "How much?" she asked. 2,000. He said it like it was nothing. Emily looked at the cookie tin on the shelf. For a second, she imagined telling him, just blurting it out. Jake would scream with excitement. Then he would call their mom. Then Brandon would hear. Then everyone would hear. And the quiet life Emily knew would disappear overnight. "Ain't you there?" Jake asked. "Yeah," she said softly. "I'll see what I can do." After the call ended, she sat on the couch. Her chest felt heavy. She loved her family, but she also knew their patterns. Jake never paid back money. Linda believed sacrifice proved love. Brandon believed opportunity meant taking. Emily suddenly understood something painful. If they knew about the lottery, they would not see Emily anymore. They would see money. Days passed. She claimed the prize quietly through a lawyer named Daniel Brooks. Daniel was calm, sharp, careful. "First rule," he told her, "tell no one." Emily almost laughed. "Too late," she said. "I already planned that." He studied her for a moment. "Good," Daniel said, "because sudden wealth destroys families every year." Emily felt a chill. She already believed him. A week later, the pressure started. Jake showed up at her apartment, unannounced. He walked inside, like he owned the place. "Mom says you're acting weird," he said. Emily forced a light laugh. "I'm just busy." Jake looked around the small apartment. "You ever think about moving somewhere better?" he asked. Emily's stomach tightened. "Maybe someday." Jake leaned closer. "You know what I think?" he said. "What?" "I think you're hiding something." Her heartbeat stopped. "What makes you say that?" Emily asked. Jake shrugged. "You just have that look." Silence filled the room. Emily held his gaze. Then she smiled calmly. "Well," she said, "if I ever win the lottery, you'll be the first to know." Jake laughed, but his eyes stayed suspicious. After he left, Emily locked the door. Her hands trembled again, because for the first time, she realized keeping the secret might be harder than winning the money. That night her phone lit up with a family group message. Jake, Linda, Brandon. One simple line appeared. We need to talk tomorrow, Emily, please, privately. The message stayed on Emily's screen for a long time. We need to talk tomorrow. Emily, please. Privately. Her stomach dropped. Jake never asked for private talks. Linda never used that tone. And Brandon only appeared when money was involved. Emily locked her phone and stared at the ceiling. A cold thought crossed her mind. Do they know? The next morning felt heavy. Emily barely slept. Her heart raced the entire drive to her mother's house. The old porch looked the same. Peeling paint, rusty mailbox, wind chimes clinking softly. But something about today felt different, like walking into a trap. Jake opened the door before she knocked. Finally, he said. His voice was tight. Inside, Linda sat at the table with folded arms. Brandon leaned against the wall, scrolling his phone. No one smiled. Emily forced one. What's going on? Linda spoke first. We heard something yesterday. Emily's chest tightened. Heard what? Brandon finally looked up. That someone in this town just won the lottery. The room went quiet. Emily felt the blood rush in her ears. Jake watched her carefully. You ever buy lottery tickets? He asked. Emily shrugged. Sometimes. Jake leaned forward. You win anything? Her mind moved fast, faster than it ever had before. If she told the truth now, everything would explode. Loans, demands, arguments, and the Emily they loved would vanish. So she shook her head. Just $10, she said. Brandon scoffed. Figures. Linda sighed dramatically. Well, whoever won should help their family, she said. Emily felt that sentence like a knife. Jake nodded. Exactly. 30 million could fix a lot of problems. Emily stayed quiet. Brandon suddenly smirked. You know what's funny? He said. What? Emily asked. You've been acting strange all week. Her heart jumped again. Jake added softly, real strange. Emily crossed her arms. Because I'm tired of everyone asking me for money. The word surprised even her. The room froze. Jake frowned. What's that supposed to mean? Emily took a breath. Years of frustration finally bubbled up. It means every call is about rent, or bills, or favors. Linda looked offended. Family helps family. Emily nodded slowly. Yes, but family also respects boundaries. Silence filled the room again. Brandon rolled his eyes. Relax. We're just talking. Emily looked at each of them. Then she said something that changed everything. Let's pretend I did win the lottery. They all stared. Jake leaned forward. Okay. Emily continued. What would happen next? Jake answered instantly. Well, you'd help us obviously. Brandon laughed. I'd start a business. Linda placed her hand on her chest. I could finally retire. Emily listened quietly. Not one of them asked what she wanted. Not one. And in that moment, something inside her became clear. They loved her, but they depended on her too much. Emily stood up. Well, she said calmly, good thing I didn't win. She walked toward the door. Jake followed her outside. Wait, he said. Emily stopped. Jake scratched his head. Look, if you ever do come into money. His voice softened. Just remember who's always been there. Emily looked at him for a long moment. Then she nodded. I will. She drove home slowly. When she reached her apartment, she pulled the cookie tin from the shelf. The lottery ticket was gone. Now, the money was safe, invested, protected, hidden. Her phone buzzed again. A message from Daniel Brooks. Funds successfully transferred. Your new life officially begins today. Emily smiled for the first time in days. But instead of buying a mansion, she started small. She moved to a quiet town 2 hours away. She paid off her student loans. She opened a small community bookstore. Peaceful, simple, real. Months later, Jake called. "Hey, Em," he said awkwardly. "I got a job." Emily smiled. "That's great." Linda eventually adjusted too. Brandon stopped calling. And strangely, the family became healthier because the invisible safety net was gone. Emily never told them the truth, not out of fear, but out of wisdom, because sometimes the greatest act of love is refusing to let money destroy the people you care about. And Emily Carter would always remember one powerful lesson. Winning the lottery changed her life, but keeping the secret saved her family